Hi lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel.
And trust you me, when you have that kind of mentality, you will not improve yourself, but you will actually diminish yourself. You cannot tell me that you have a type when it comes to romantic partners, but you do not have a type when it comes to friends. You realize that you're able to love someone so much that you get them gifts, you make time for them, you will sit and listen to them rant for hours, but can you do the same for you? Boundaries. How you allow people to treat you. And I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this, okay? You are allowed to forgive yourself for all the mistakes you made. Imagine waking up every day feeling the weight of expectations, comparing yourself to highlight reels on social media, and struggling to find where you belong. What if I told you that you're not alone and there is actually a way to reclaim your peace and boundaries? So babe, welcome to today's episode where we're going to be diving into the world of healthy relationships and boundaries, especially in the age of social media and peer pressure. I'm Moremi Lindsay, and today we are going to explore, that is me and you, we are going to explore how to protect your mental well-being, and we are going to learn how to actually set meaningful boundaries that empower you, not destroy you. Yes, so let's start. So first we are going to be starting with social media pressure. Yes, social media pressure, because currently everyone is on social media, everyone wants to be an influencer, everybody is doom scrolling around 24/7, so let's start there, okay? So one thing is, we all actually pretend that social media doesn't affect us, but honestly it actually does, because I've had conversations with my friends and they're like, oh, how would that affect you? How would you let that affect you? How weak do you have to be for that to affect you? I can promise you, everyone is actually affected by social media. We just don't like saying it out loud. Have you ever experienced this? Okay, so you're having your own good day and you woke up just fine, you're okay with yourself, but then you open TikTok or you open Instagram and you start scrolling, and then questions just start popping out of nowhere. You know, it's like somebody was waiting for you to actually scroll 1 hour in, and then you're like, why doesn't my life look like that? Why isn't my body like that? Why doesn't my relationship look like that? Why am I not doing more? Why is everyone doing this and this and this and I am actually doing nothing? Huh? And you know what the craziest part is? The craziest part is that nobody warned us that comparison would become a daily habit. I feel like everybody's busy telling us, oh, you know, social media will trigger this, social media will make you feel like this, but nobody tells us that it will actually become a daily habit. It will actually become something that you actually rely on, because for you to dress, you first have to compare yourself with other people's TikTok, and you're like, okay, now I need to improve my dressing. And trust you me, when you have that kind of mentality, you will not improve yourself, but you will actually diminish yourself. What I mean by that is the fact that you're going to stop trying to be you, and you're going to very heavily rely on being someone else. So if you see this kind of girl that dresses like this, you're going to go and buy clothes that look like hers. You're going to start doing makeup that looks like hers, and then boom, you are that girl's 2.0. You're not yourself. Do not lie to yourself that copying other people's style makes you you, makes you a better version of you. It doesn't. It makes you a 2.0. Actually, no, it actually makes you a 0.5 of someone else, because you're half what they are, because you cannot be a 2, you cannot be an improved version of themselves. You're just an old version of themselves, because them having their authenticity, they're going to carry on forward, but you are going to be going backwards, because you don't know about them, you don't know everything, you don't know what influences their style, you don't know what makes them dress like that, what they feel inside to be able to express themselves like that. You get what I mean? Yes. One thing that actually makes social media one of, you know, the worst places to be. Yes, I agree that social media is actually one of the best places to be. And considering that I am actually an aspiring content creator and influencer, I love social media. That's true. But the thing with social media is that people are conditioned to compare their behind the scenes with people edited videos. Okay? By the time I'm posting this video out, I will have edited it out a lot. And you're gonna be comparing an edited version of me with the behind the scenes of you. Maybe if it helps, try and looking at the behind the scenes of people's videos. Do not just look at the perfect results. Do not just look at the dust trap. Ask them how many times they actually recorded that video to get the perfect shot. Okay? Yes. And then the problem actually, as we continue, is the more you actually compare the edited videos of people with your behind the scenes, it actually now starts triggering you, and you're going to start posting for validation. Okay, you're going to start and I think I'm attacking myself here. You're going to start deleting posts that don't do well because you want a certain type of validation, maybe, I don't know. And honestly, that is something I do though. If I have posted a video and it's not matching the standards of all my other videos, I am going to delete it. But I'm not trying to give an excuse here. But the reason I think I do that is because I understand that quality is important, and I understand that for me, I use my engagement as my measure. So if I can be able to reach 500 people and my video has reached only 200 people, then I'm going to be like, no, something went wrong here. It did not meet my standards. It did not get to where like I want it to get to. So I will delete the video because that is not my standard. That is not the level I'm aspiring to be. You understand? So I will delete it. But let's continue with therapy. Let's continue. So, okay, you start staying in situations you should have left just because it looks good online. You continue staying with that one friend who's so rude to you just because every time you post a video with them, you get more reach, you get more engagement, you get more views, more likes. That is the cost of social media. And so this is something you really need to pay attention to, okay? If something is costing you your peace and giving you likes, it's not worth it, okay? So here is where you weigh your life. You weigh likes versus your peace, and you look at it from your own kind of perspective. Which one do you value more? Do you value likes, or do you value your own internal peace, which will actually help you get more likes? Because once you're mentally aligned with yourself, with your soul, your spirit, you're at peace, it's so much easier for you to figure out what kind of content you're gonna make. It's easier for you to express yourself while making content, and it's gonna help you to get more content engagement rather than just settling for some 30 likes on one video. You know, choose yourself, man. Choose yourself, okay? Let me ask you something, okay? And I do not want you to answer loudly. I just want you to like sit on it, okay? So, when was the last time you did something just because it felt right, not because you wanted to post it? Exactly. Okay, exactly. It's also badly, okay? So, because we're here together, we are in this together. I am not calling you out alone, I'm also calling myself out because we want a better generation, right? We gotta start with ourselves, okay? Yes. So I'm not actually trying to tell you to delete your social media because honestly, that is one, not realistic, and secondly, I know how connected we are with social media. I know that it's not just a bunch of videos you scroll. Some people actually are on social media to escape their reality. Some people are there because, you know, it's what we are aspiring to be. It's what we want to be. It's our future. We want to learn about it more. But I want to tell you that you should not let it control you, okay? You should not let that be your judge, kind of. Because just because your video is getting 20 likes and somebody else's video is getting 100 likes, that is not your standard of measure. You are your own standard of measure. And it's actually healthy sometimes to do a bit of comparison, because you're like, okay, she does lip syncs and she does them like this, and she gets quite high engagement. What can I learn? What can I take from that? But if you're just gonna be like, oh, her videos get 100 likes and I'm doing almost the same thing and I'm getting just 20 likes, I'm not good enough, oh, she's just too good, she's this, she's that, and I'm not this, I'm not that, you're destroying yourself and also destroying your content. So you're basically achieving nothing. It's like 0 plus 0, 0. You're basically doing nonsense. So choose yourself, work on yourself, accept yourself, and then we can start learning from other people. Not being jealous, not comparing, learning from other people. Okay? Now I think this is the part we struggled with. Okay, this is, and I'm just gonna read it out as it is in my notes, okay? This is the part we struggled with, and I think it's because nobody actually tells you to do that in the first place. By the time you figure it out for yourself that you're supposed to do that, it's gonna take you some time. But hear me, okay? Hear me out. If a post makes you feel small or insecure or behind in life, unfollow it. Not later, not tomorrow, there and then when it makes you feel inferior, unfollow it. You're not actually jealous about their content or about this person or about what's good about them or what they're doing in life. You're just taking it upon yourself to protect yourself. You're putting yourself first, you're protecting yourself, and you're keeping your boundaries strong and defined. Okay? Because I don't understand why watching somebody's videos makes you feel ugly and you still want to watch their videos. Choose yourself, okay? Because whatever it makes you feel, that view adds on to them. Okay, if they're monetized, they're earning from your views, but you're feeling diminished from their content. What kind of transaction is that? What kind of relationship is that? Okay, that is toxic. So unfollow that page. Okay, thank you. Go do so now. Had you post this video, go unfollow that page, because you come first, baby. You come first. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let me say this, and let me say this in the loudest way possible. Okay, I'm not gonna shout, but hold your ears. Just because something is normal online, it does not mean that it is healthy for you. Okay, constant surveillance is not love. Posting each other is not loyalty. Knowing passwords is not trust, and suffering silently is not strength. You're allowed to log out, you're allowed to disappear for a bit, you're allowed to live a life that nobody claps for but you feel proud of. Okay, so I'm gonna give my take. When it comes to posting each other, it depends on your perspective, because I feel like you do not have to constantly post each other, but sometimes them refusing to post you means they're hiding you, and that's because they're cheating on you, or someone else is being cheated on you with, or they don't even want people to know that you two are together because they are looking or aiming to actually get someone else who's more their type. You are just a stop in the drive. Don't shoot the messenger. Secondly, when it comes to knowing passwords, don't ask for that password. Call me naive, but do not ask for that password. Why? I mean, Lynn, why? It's because I am teaching you to protect your peace and not run into the fire yourself. Does that mean that I should just blindly trust him? Does that mean that I should just allow myself to be cheated on? That means that if you think he's cheating, if he makes you question yourself, walk out. Okay? But asking for that password is destroying yourself, because you'll ask for that password. But let me tell you, what you're gonna be looking for in these DMs is not technically just the normal dating someone else kind of things you look for. You will open a chat and you'll find them talking with a friend, but you know, they're like so in sync, or they're vibing more than you to vibe. You know, it's just a friendly vibe, but you can see the sparkles, and it's gonna make you hate yourself. You're gonna go to his DMs and you're gonna see the kind of girls he talks to, and when you see the kind of girls he talks to, you're gonna realize these girls are pretty. Okay, they're pretty, they know how to dress, they look good, their hair is done, their nails is done, their rooms look perfect. Most of the things that you will start comparing yourself, so you'll start comparing their life to your life, and you're going to realize he actually has better options, because as girls, that is one thing that will run in your mind. You're going to realize that, and you're going to start hating yourself slowly by slowly. You're going to start being more insecure in the relationship slowly by slowly, so there is no need. Okay, you're going to go to the group chat with the homies, and you're going to realize the way these people in the group chat talk, they do not actually value relationships that much. So you're like, am I just not walking the pack? Is that what this is? You're gonna question yourself, and we're trying to protect our peace and avoid any situation that is gonna get us thinking less of ourselves. Okay, so do not ask for that password. Do not ask for that password. Okay, let him do what he has to do. Protect yourself first, because I will attach that video somewhere around here, but it says a man will choose himself over you any day, anytime. So start choosing yourself. Yeah, I say what I say.
A man will always be willing to hurt your feelings. He will always be willing to choose himself. Every man is going to choose himself. He's going to put himself first. Put yourself first.
Now, this is something I want to leave you with as I am finishing up on the subtopic of social media. If social media is making you hate your body, question your worth, stay in toxic friendships, or just trash your life, girl, you need to pause. Okay, and this is just not for the girls, but anyone out there, you need to pause. Okay, your life is not late, you're not behind, and you're definitely not missing out. Okay, you have so many more years to do what you gotta do. You do not have to grow up early. Okay, you do not have to do what everybody else is doing. You are not missing out on anything. Your time will come. Okay, yeah. You're just human in a world that profits off making you feel like you're not enough. And if nobody has told you this today, you're doing better than you think. And I know you're wondering, Lynn, what do you mean by you're living in a world that profits off making you feel like you're not enough? It's because maybe in the past, I am not so sure about this, but what I'm sure of is that marketing used to be more of making you want something, right? When I'm marketing, maybe I am marketing this chocolate bar to you, right? I will do more of make you to want to have this chocolate. I just want you to love this chocolate. I just want you to be enticed by this chocolate. In this world, in today's world, it's no longer just about making the customer love the product. Okay? People are literally studying psychology so that they can be able to manipulate you into buying the product that you don't even need. That is why you will watch some ads and you're like, oh, maybe I can try it. You don't need it, but you are being manipulated into wanting it. So yes, and yes, we are going to drop videos of people with glass and perfect skin, okay? And then 3 scrolls later, we are going to drop an ad for a moisturizing cream or something that helps you get clear and glass skin. Why? Because we have created an insecurity first, and then now next we're going to give you the solution just to promote their business, and they will have more people buying their products, not necessarily to make you feel better about yourself. Okay, maybe those products take years to work, so they will need you to be hooked to the product for years and years and years. So do not conform to the insecurities of a world that actually is exploiting your insecurities just so that they can earn from them. Okay, yes. So now we're going to talk about something we actually do really need to talk about: healthy versus toxic relationships. Nimekushika, nimekupata. Yes, I found you. Now, you know, the thing about relationships, and when people hear about relationships, they expect it's just about romantic relationships, but no, we have friendships, and mostly friendships. You cannot tell me that you have a type when it comes to romantic partners, but you do not have a type when it comes to friends. If you listen to Jada, I think her name is Jada, she will actually tell you more about this. You cannot just have a type in relationships, but you don't have a type in friendships. Not everyone is meant to be your friend, and actually, not everyone is your friend. So let's normalize calling them classmates, schoolmates, course-mates, what do you call them? Residence mates or apartment mates. Let's normalize using the word for the situation, because not everyone is your friend. Okay? Yes. Have you ever realized that the place you lose yourself more is not when you're alone, but when you are in any sort of relationship with people, friendships, situationships, relationships, whatever. But have you ever realized that is when you lose yourself more? I want you to sit down and think, when were your lowest days? Was it you who did something, or was it someone that did something to you? I want you to think and tell yourself, when was that one time you were struggling to heal from something? Is it you who did that to yourself, or was it someone that got you doing that or did that to you? Okay, I think I know. But the thing is, if you're always anxious, always overthinking, always scared, kwanza, always scared of saying the wrong thing, because you cannot tell me that you're around a person and you cannot be fully yourself because you want to say something that will make them smile, which is okay. But there are people who will tell you that when they were in a relationship, they were so scared of saying whatever they have in mind because they do not want to anger the person. They do not want to seem as not cool in front of that friend group. They do not want to sound boring. They do not want to not be loved. They want to be accepted. They always want to be the fun person in the group. If a relationship makes you feel like that, let me tell you, definitely something is wrong. Something is wrong, okay? Because toxicity is not something that just is written on somebody's forehead, like you can see, I am toxic. That is not how it happens, okay? Toxicity sometimes looks like somebody who jokes about your insecurities, be it a friend, be it a partner, a relationship, or a romantically involved partner, be it a family member. Yes, okay, someone who only shows up when it's convenient. And I think this has to be one of the worst things in life. Someone who just calls you and gives you the funniest stories just for them to end the phone call in, can you help me with 500 bob? Or this is something I've heard out there, okay, so I'm just gonna mention it because I know some of you would relate. That one person who only calls you at night, yeah, or calls you over to hang out at night. Yes, that is a person who's toxic to you, okay? Someone who makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. Let's say, for example, you're this person who you do not allow anyone to talk to you in a certain type of way or in a certain type of tone, right? And this person gets mad at you or something happens, they're handling their own problems, you try to reach out and they talk to you in, you know, that rude and anger kind of manner, and you walk off, right? And you don't talk to them, you don't say anything to them. The next time they're gonna hit you up, they're gonna be like, oh, unaringa, oh, sijui wasichana mkoaje siku hizi, oh, mtu akikuongelesha hivi, it's not that big of a deal, mbona unafanya hivi, sijui mbona unaongea hivi, sijui, it's never that serious, it was just a joke, you don't know how to take a joke. Really? Anyway, and lastly, it's someone who says, I'm just like that after hurting you. I have experienced this with my friends because, okay, I really like getting to know what is happening in my friends' life. And you hear, there is this person that told me that the dude says, I'm just like that. I'm just like that in the sense of, this is a person who's more of, what do you say? A guy who has so many female friends, and you know, there's some guys that are really accepted by the female community because they really know how to relate to that, right? So this person has so many close, and I mean close female friends, and the girl was like, no, I mean, what? Your ex is also in that mix of your close female friends, and you guys, no, what is happening? Okay, what is happening? And the dude later on and went, after the conversation or in the process of the conversation, the dude went on to say that I'm just like that. I'm just like that. Okay, I'm just good with girls. Mina nakwaga hivyo na siwezi change. Actually, I think my worst scenario was when I got mad and I reached to this point and I was like, you're so immature. Yeah, I literally told someone that you're so immature. Do you know what response I got? They told me, yes, you kweli, and I'm not going to change. Nikuwa tu hivyo, niko sawa. And actually, I think the worst part that we don't like saying these things out loud. We don't like saying them out loud. But I am going to say them because I want you to relate to this. I want you to find yourself in the process of this, okay? This is not just for show. I am pulling you out of the trenches. After all these reactions we get from being ourselves, the worst thing is that you start blaming yourself. You start blaming yourself because you'll start being, maybe I'm actually too sensitive, you know? Maybe someone just making a joke about my insecurity is not that big of a deal. I mean, I should stop being so sensitive. You're like, maybe I ask for too much. Maybe they're not financially good. They're not financially stable, so they can get me gifts. Even though I get them gifts every week, they're not supposed to get me anything, babe. Babe, flowers kwa barabara ni bure. Kwa barabara, flowers ni bure. You can always go pluck a flower for free. Okay? Their hoodie is free. They really have one. They can give it to you. You do not have to kneel down and beg for them to even realize that they need that. Okay? And I really understand, and this is something I will get into later because I feel like I will need panelists to talk about this when it comes to relationships. I am not telling you to rely on your partner, on your male partner, for financial support. They are not your father. Do not take your daddy issues to a relationship. Okay? Secondly, for you boys, yes, kindly do not expect a 17-year-old to be looking like a 30-year-old who's been in the gym since when they were 15. Okay? Do not expect us to look like Barbie dolls. Okay? Yes. Okay? Do not expect us to give you everything we have. Do not expect us to allow you to treat us the way you want just because you saw that in a movie and you want to show your friends how cool you are. Do not expect us to accept your cruelty and your mistreatment in the name of love, like you guys out here expect girls to be doing for you. Okay? Yes, let's all heal from our traumas and our past issues, and then we come to a relationship. Okay? Let people scratch where they can reach. If the best he can do is get you a hoodie, that is the best he can do. Okay? If the best she can do is give you a hug, that is the best she can do. Okay, let's allow people to scratch themselves where they can reach. Jikuna kwenye unafikia, in short, mtu asikupee stress. Okay? Yes, and if they're asking for more than you can give, it's time to leave. And I think the worst sentence you'll ever tell yourself is, maybe if I love harder, they will love me more. Babe, no. Even if you love them harder, Borake, you're not the one, you're not the one. Comma and step out. Okay? Comma and step out. Sawa. Loving people harder doesn't make them accept you. It actually makes them feel like you're more of a burden because hawakutaki. And now you're becoming too much for them to handle. Okay, so you will be more of a burden to them, and they're gonna let you down, not slowly, but they will let you down in the most painful way they can imagine of, just so that you will never go back. Okay? Yes. So I want you to listen to this, okay? If you have to beg for basic respect, that is not love. Healthy relationships do not make you at any point shrink. They do not make you compete with anyone or anything. They do not make you feel like you're hard to love or make you feel like you're inferior. A healthy relationship feels calm. Not boring, but calm. You're always at peace. Okay? When they're out with your friends, you're not worried that they will meet someone else. You're okay with it. You're calm. Okay? When they're holding your phone, you do not feel like your organs are going to rupture. Why? Because it's calm. It's a healthy relationship. That means nothing extra is going on that you don't want your partner to figure out, or that you're afraid they will do to you. I don't know if you understand. And then if you're listening to this and you're realizing that, wow, this sounds like what I mean, okay, that is not shame. Do not be ashamed, okay? I am not at any point aiming to shame you. I am aiming to create awareness, and awareness is always the beginning of change. Okay, awareness is always the beginning of change. Once you're aware that that is how bad your situation is, then you're ready to start making a change, one step at a time. Okay, babe? Yes, thank you. I think this has been one of the things I've had to train myself to change. It's one of the things that I was really focused on changing about myself, is because it's kind of very disturbing, okay? But we really need to actually talk about why living is so hard, okay? And why do we always, the question is always, why do we always stay even when we know it's not good for us, even when we know it's killing us to stay, even when we know that we're not actually supposed to stay? We are actually aware that our situation in the moment is going haywire, but we still choose to stay? I mean, why? And one thing I have learned is that we don't stay because it's good. We stay because we are attached. Okay? It's called attachment. And you will always confuse attachment to love. Sometimes you will no longer be on good terms with someone, and you're gonna leave them, but you're still going to want to go back to them. But you know pretty well it won't work. You know that you actually don't even want to go back, but you still want to be with them. That is how attached to the person you are. Okay? And sometimes we're attached to memories, we're attached to the potential the relationship had, or the potential the person had, and you really wanted to be in that moment when they showcased their potential. Sometimes we actually, and this is the worst of all, we are attached to who they used to be. They used to be that friend that is always there for you, that friend that always understands you, that friend that does no wrong by you. But now they don't do that anymore. So you choose to stay because you're attached to their past and you're ignoring their present. So we tell ourselves, but they were not always like that. But when it was good, it was like really good. But I honestly don't want to start over. I don't want to look for new friends. I don't want to know new people. I don't want to start over again. It takes too much effort. It takes too much time. It's draining. Okay? And one of the common phrases my girls use is, I don't want to tell anyone else what my favorite color is, because I mean everyone asks what your favorite color is. Yeah. So sometimes we're actually not scared of losing people or losing that particular person. We're scared of being alone with ourselves. I don't know if you agree with me, but at some point you're actually just scared of your own company. You're scared of spending time alone with yourselves, because you realize that you're able to love someone so much that you get them gifts, you make time for them, you will sit and listen to them rant for hours. But can you do the same for you? Can you do the same? Can you go out and get yourself flowers just to appreciate yourself of how far you've come? Can you sit with yourself in a mirror for hours and talk to yourself and tell yourself that this and this is going wrong? I feel this and this and this and this. I think I should change this and this and this. Can you spend that much time with yourself? Can you be that vulnerable with yourself? Can you be that intimate with yourself? Can you? Or do you do that with other people and then end up being scared of losing them because you do not want to spend time with yourself? You do not want to be alone with yourself? I don't know. And then one of the worst things is sometimes you actually don't want to leave because you do not want to admit that you deserve to better the whole time. You do not want to admit that you actually stooped low, that the bar was low. You do not want to admit that you made a mistake. So you're going to stay because you told your friends how perfect this man is, or you told your other friends on how good your friendship with Stella or your friendship with Mike or whoever that person is going amazing, on how you two help each other. And now you do not want to admit that what they told you about this person is actually right. You do not want to admit that the red flags you saw at the beginning of this are actually real. And when they start manifesting in a more heavier form, you now can't get out. It's too late. Okay, but the thing is, I know it hurts. Funny thing is, I understand. Okay, I understand that sometimes we just do not want to accept defeat. We do not want to fail. We do not want to reach the bottom rock of our lives. We don't, and it actually does really hurt. Okay, but I want you to listen to me and listen to me very clearly. Staying in something that hurts you does not make you loyal. Staying in something that hurts you does not make you loyal. It makes you wounded. You don't need a dramatic ending to leave. You don't need permission. You do not even need them to agree. You do not have to get that closure. You do not even need to tell them that you're leaving. You're not asking for permission. Okay? And if you know the famous quote, it says, we will ask for forgiveness and no permission. Just do it. We will ask for forgiveness later once it's done. So leave. Okay? You're allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to choose yourself quietly. You don't have to announce to the whole wide world, I have made a decision to leave. I have made a decision to change my relationship to so and so. You do not have to announce. You do not have to tell anyone. You do not even have to tell that person. As long as you try to talk it out with them, you try to reason with them, and it didn't work out, you're allowed to choose yourself quietly. Okay? The next subtopic is setting boundaries without guilt. Yes. So, boundaries are not punishments. They're actually instructions on how to love you. We are not angels. We do not know what you like. We do not know what you accept and do not accept. We don't know you. And just like you are able to tell us what your favorite color is, you're also supposed to tell us what your least favorite color is. So that when I go to buy you a pair of socks, I'll know that I should get you a blue pair of socks and never a white pair of socks. Okay? Just like I am supposed to know that when I'm correcting you, I'm supposed to be calm and collected and not at any point raising my voice and angry at you. Boundaries. How you allow people to treat you. Okay? If someone gets angry when you set a boundary with them, then actually that is the whole reason why you needed that boundary. It gives you the whole meaning of why you needed the boundary. I don't know if you're getting me. Okay? Let's normalize saying no without explaining. Replying when you have energy. Dude, every time I text you and my text pops up on your screen, you are not at any point obligated to reply immediately. You're not at any point obligated to give people fast replies. Okay? If you are not in the energy to talk to a particular person at a particular time, you are allowed to hold that conversation and reply to them when you are in energy for them. And if you're never in energy, you are allowed to never talk to them again. Nobody in the world will sit down and choose you to take care of for themselves. So we, and I mean all of us, are gonna choose to sit down and take care of ourselves first. Okay? Yes, you are not obligated to give people that constant communication if you know it's not working. It's very good to actually communicate. Just tell them, no, it's not gonna happen, man. I'm sorry, but with this and this and this, or how this conversation has been going, let's call it quits. Okay? Yes. And as I was saying, we are also going to normalize protecting your time, choosing distance over disrespect. You do not have to sit there mtu akuongeleshe vibaya, akutusi, akufanyie everything they have to do. Choose distance and walk away. Leave, okay? Choose distance every day over disrespect, okay? Yes. Just to reassure you, okay, just to let you know, you're not mean for setting boundaries. You are actually mature enough, okay? Setting boundaries is not something mean people do. It's something mature people do. Because why would you choose chaos? Why would you choose to suffer under people when you can just walk out and be at peace? Why? Why would you subject yourself to chaos when you can actually just choose peace and walk out? I mean, okay, and something I didn't know when I started setting boundaries was boundaries will cost you people. Boundaries will cost you relationships. Boundaries will cost you, okay? And that is because people will leave because they liked you better when they could call you to go help them with something and you showed up. People will call you selfish because they liked you better when every time you bought yourself something, you bought them a same or a similar copy of what you got yourself. People will say that you changed because they liked the version of you that they could stamp on whenever they needed to. And it's okay. Let them say you're mean, let them say you're selfish, let them say you changed. Let them say whatever they have to say. Let them get it out of their hearts and head. Because anyone who benefited from your silence will definitely hate your boundaries. They will definitely hate the 2.0 version of you because they liked it better when they could use you. They liked it better when they could abuse the privilege of having you as a friend, of having you as a partner, for having you in their life. Okay? So we have to accept it. We have to be okay with this fact, okay? Because peace will always cost you something, but chaos costs you more. Being in a chaotic environment will cost you so much than being at peace and just letting people go or walking off from people that do not align with the kind of person you want to be. So choose peace and choose yourself and walk out of that situation. Learn to set boundaries. And people have boundaries, but a person has crossed your boundary once, crossed your boundary twice, and you expect them not to cross that boundary thrice. The moment they do it once, they'll do it again. Okay? The moment you tell that one friend that I do not like it when you ignore me for 3 days and you come back all lovey-dovey and stuff. I do not like it when you speak to so and so and so and you know how ill of me they be speaking, or you know how badly they treat me. The moment you tell them that and place a boundary that realistic and that's evident between the two of you, and they continue ignoring you, they continue being with the friends that don't like you, they will do it again, and they've already crossed your boundary. Do not give them the chance to stamp on you again and again and again. If they cannot change for you, they do not want to change for you. Not that they can change, it's that they do not want to change for you. So it's about time you learn to walk out. It's about time you learn to accept to lose people. It's about time you learn that not everyone deserves the privilege of being in your life, or sharing rooms with you, or being at the same place with you. Not everyone deserves your love, your care, your attention, your friendship. Not everyone deserves that. And it's about time you know and also accept that fact and learn to walk out. Yes. Now I want to finish with forgiving yourself. Yes. And I want to talk to that person who's blaming themselves for the failed friendships, blaming themselves for the failed relationships, blaming themselves for the failed family relationships, blaming themselves just for not just relationship actually, but blaming themselves for the wrong turnout in events. Okay, maybe things were supposed to go like this, but something happened and they completely broke down. Things went haywire. That one person blaming themselves for that, the one that's thinking, I should have known better. I should have known they were using me. I should have known they really didn't like me. The one that says, why did I stay so long? I knew that they were cheating, but I decided to stay. I knew that they didn't actually like me. I knew that I was that willing, this whole friend group. Why did I stay that long? Why did I ignore the signs? These people literally have another friend group that I'm not in. They do meetups and post photos of times they're together, and I am not in. Why didn't I know this, or why did I ignore the signs? And I could see them. And I want to tell you this, okay? I want to tell you this, but listen. You did the best you could with what you knew then. You were not weak. You were hopeful that these people would change, that the situation would get better, that one day you would be included, that one day they would love you as much as you love them. You were not stupid. You were human. You cared about them too much to walk away during their weak times, despite the fact that they tried to do the whole they dug for themselves with them. You were not blind. You were in love. You were lonely, or you were just trying to survive, and you knew you could not do it alone. You knew that you were not strong enough to be alone, and hence you decided to stay because it made you feel better. But you can change that situation, okay? Being in love should never be the reason to why you let people diminish you. And I want you to think of love like this, okay? This may not apply to anyone, but if you've dated more than 2 people or more than one person, you will realize that you love a person so much, and when you're in the relationship, you think you'll never love someone else. You'll never be with someone else. But once you guys break up and you move on to the next relationship, you actually fall in love. Genuinely fall in love with the next person. You're not faking it, you're not pretending. You genuinely fall in love with the next person. Why? Because you will always fall in love with people. There is always someone that is going to be compatible to you out there. You do not have to stay till they take you to hell with them for you to realize you do not belong there. There is always better. And if you dated someone and the next person, or you were friends with someone and the next friend was worse than the previous one, it's because you did not learn anything, and life will keep on throwing the same challenge to you until the day you will take a notebook and note down what exactly you learned and put that into your life and change your situation with the lessons you've gotten. Because if a person was mistreating you, crossing your boundaries, and you let them be, and you were able to escape with that, but you didn't learn anything, and you go and date a person from the same friend group as this one, a person that hangs out in the same places as this one, what do you expect? What do you expect? You learned nothing, right? And life is gonna throw the same lesson your way, and this time round it's gonna be like a mad teacher when you have not done his assignment for 3 days consecutively. You're gonna pay. Okay? So once gangster or a hood dude doesn't align with you and they mistreat you, or the relationship ends up in pieces, next time try a good person. Next time actually try someone that goes to church every weekday, leave alone Sunday. Always learn something. If this doesn't work for you, this will work for you. Next time actually try a hood nigga that was actually raised right by their parents, because personally I believe that parents play a very big role in terms of the personalities that children later on have in life, because they create the environment that nurtures the personality of their kids. So I don't know, learn something. Do not go back to the same pit hole that God took you out of. And pray and ask God for guidance. And as you ask for guidance, ensure that you're not jumping from one friendship to another, one relationship to another, one situationship to another. Give yourself time to evaluate and reflect before moving on, because you need to know what you've learned and you need to know what you're looking for, so that you can get to where you want to be at. Okay? Listen, growth does not come from punishment. It comes from compassion. You're not behind because of what you went through. You're wiser. You know more. You have more experience. So I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to let go of all the pain you're holding within yourself, because I personally reached a point and I was like, I am not blaming any of my friends or any of the people I've ever been close to for what they did to me. It reached a point I sat down and I was like, I am blaming myself. I am blaming myself because I walked into that room. I am blaming myself because I started that friendship with a person and I stayed in that friendship with a person despite knowing their true colors. I blamed myself because I knew the kind of a person this person is, but I still let them, and I still let their evil purposes and their evil plans and their malice kind of thinking manifest in my heart and in my life. And it's true, I I walked into that relationship, I walked into that friendship, but you need to learn to forgive yourself. You need to learn to understand yourself. You needed a friend at that point. Understand that. You thought they were right for you at that point. Understand yourself, just like you like understanding your friends to keep them long enough with you. Understand yourself. And I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this, okay? You are allowed to forgive yourself for all the mistakes you made, for all the doors you opened, for all the windows you opened to let people you knew very well were not supposed to walk into your life, but you let them in. You're allowed to forgive yourself for putting yourself in situations that broke you, in situations that hurt you. But what are you going to do about that? You've forgiven yourself, right? Your heart is lighter. What do? What we do is we change our strategy. What we're going to do is we walk into rooms that make us feel better about ourselves, not rooms that make us diminish ourselves together with the people in there, because they will be diminishing us for us to feel like that. We are allowed to stay alone. If you cannot find the right group of friends, we are allowed, me and you, we are allowed to stay with our friends till we find the right friends. Do not be in a friend group just because you're out of options. Options will come later, but build your internal strength that when you meet them and they later on change their colors, they will not influence you to be like them, because here you're strong and you know what you're doing and you'll be able to walk out when things go wrong. Okay? Yes. Whoa, that was a conversation I really needed to actually have with myself, because I feel like in some of the areas I've been talking about, and you know, and if this podcast at any point made you feel uncomfortable, then that is good for me. Honestly, I appreciate that it actually did, because this means that something inside you has finally woken up. You're finally aware, and I pray and I hope that you are actually going to do something about it. Pinky promise? Right? Okay. And if it made you actually feel seen, for me that is actually better, because that is the whole aim. That is my whole aim. My whole aim is to make this feel like home. Make this where we talk about those things we actually don't even like talking to ourselves about. I want to leave you with this. I want to tell you this. And I don't know, I think say this to yourself as many times as possible, because I want it to sink deep into your mind, deep into your soul. Okay? You're allowed to want healthy love. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to protect your peace. And if actually nobody has told you this before, choosing yourself is not selfish. Choosing yourself is necessary. Okay? Yes, and that is all for episode 3 of the Tea with Link podcast. I am so happy that you stayed with me throughout the whole podcast. I am so happy that you got to listen. If you have any additions, feel free to comment down below or reach out to me personally. And yes, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great life. And by the next time we are going to meet, I really want you to have changed the course of your life. This is just a by the way, but if you want to improve yourself, you have to always start by improving your discipline, okay? And if you want to improve your discipline, you have to do it in form of habits. What do? Do you like just let yourself scroll for 50 hours on social media? If you want to change that, I can give you a secret. Go and look for a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I don't know if I've pronounced the names right, but the book is called Atomic Habits. That book changed my life, and it will definitely change your life if you read it and implement it. Not just reading, but you're supposed to read a book and implement it. The best strategy to read this book is read a chapter and implement it, read another one and implement it. Do not be focused on reading it like a storybook from start to end. Okay? Yes, you'll thank me later. Bye.